What products are clearly made by people or companies who never actually use them? Elementary state assessments. They are the most obtuse, poorly written, unrealistic questions on earth. They enrage me. They are clearly written by people who either have zero experience in elementary education or haven't had any in a decade or so. I swear that people who design some shampoo and conditioner bottles have never tried to use them while wet. Those who make the pull this flip to open on plastic packaging of cold cuts. Celebrity makeup and perfumes. I doubt any of the celebrities have even tried them, let alone used them on a regular basis. Kylie makeup is the best example of this. Cheap makeup with an expensive price tag. Zebra printers. I swear Zebra customer service is useless. I've had to call the help desks for the specific companies I've worked for because the Zebra CS is just like her. Maybe a bit off topic, but in a meeting with a former colleague of mine, the person in charge of the metro for a nearby city admitted that he had never used the metro. Not that he didn't use the metro, but that he had never used it in his life, even once. I suspect that this kind of thing isn't uncommon for government services. The push here to open spot on Kraft mac and cheese. Those toilet paper holder in public toilets that cut off at 2 sheets. Hospital beds. From the standpoint of the person who has to push it around and mess with rails that get caught in the mattress and plug it in with a long dirty cord that gets mixed up with another random cord that no one knows its purpose. No retractable cords, so they constantly drag on the ground and try to trip you when pushing the bed. Brakes that are in the most awkward position that you have to invert your knee to reach with your foot. And worst, the screeching, ear-piercing alarm that they emit to warn you that the bed is not locked. Hospital beds are obnoxious. Customer-facing software. Developers should be required to hire grandmas under the explicit condition that if grandma can't look at a menu option and decide what to click without giving up and calling the help desk, your functionality has failed. My over-ear headphones that for some unexplainable reason have touch, as in you have to swipe at the side of the earpiece to change volume, song, etc. But it just doesn't work. 50% of the time when you want to turn up the volume you switch song. Especially when you are walking. Even worse, the headphones are unusable with a hood on because the touch reacts to the inside of my hood. It's just horrible, and it serves no purpose. I swear nobody actually tested that product. Stop putting touch controls on things that don't need them. Not a product, but most laws meant to support low-income households are designed by people who have no concept of poverty. The hoops you have to jump through are meant to be prohibitive, and the income thresholds for who gets help are arbitrary. Even in France and Germany, where I am and where there are lots of social benefits. Edit some typos. It's both sad and nice to see this got upvoted so much. I can only assume cereal makers eat an entire box in one sitting, otherwise, they'd be on the phone to the Ziploc people midway through their first bowl. Those pull tabs on the inside of the necks of olive oil bottles or sesame oil. So small, a finger barely fits in it, let alone grasp and pull it. Paper towel dispensers in public restrooms that are operated by pulling on the paper towel itself. If you don't think to prep one before washing your hands, good luck pulling a whole sheet without it dissolving into tiny pieces of useless wet paper. The baby harnesses that have like 8 buttons to close up the legs. It sounds like easy diaper access, sure. But have you ever tried to button them back up with a kicking and squirming baby? Women's clothing in general. Sizing is always weird, and we never get enough pockets. Reclosable Ziploc packaging where you have to cut it open so close to the Ziploc that there is nothing to grasp when you try to reopen it. The little foil seal hiding under the plastic cap that insists it's for your protection and requires needle nose pliers to remove. Brew, I just want to add creamer to my coffee. And now my fingers hurt. Edit to include, and let's not forget the body-jolting frustration that consumes you when you first attempt to use Squeeze Pour said product only to discover your little foil friend has safety first in mind. Microwaves. Why does the beep not stop? My Kindle's power button is on the bottom, so if I hold it over a table I need to hover it because it'll turn off if I try to rest it on the table. Ridiculous. This is slightly more annoying for me than removing page-turning buttons, which worked infinitely more reliably than a touch screen. McAfee. Ladies' coats must be designed by men. Why do we not get a pocket in the lining? Not all women have handbags. Strollers. I swear they only tested them empty or with a tiny doll inside a store while having nothing else to do. Now, try to use it on a tilted pavement with a huge baby bag, 2 toys, and almost 2 years old, 2 big shopping bags, a car trunk to open with someone honking at you for your parking spot after having 2 hours of sleep per night since months. And it's raining. The resealable packaging on sliced meat and cheese. Bloody thing is either impossible to open without tearing it to bits or falls open with very little effort, but either way the resealable part is nothing but a pipe dream. It's a total waste of ink on the packaging. Never works. Not even a little bit. Most online job applications. If you know, you know. Flour bags. Whose fucking bullshit idea was it to put the most powdery, messy substance in a paper bag that I can never open without tearing a mile down the side? And never seals in a way that isn't obnoxious and stupid. Any women's clothing item like swimwear or gym wear with removal pads for the bra part. Touch screen displays in general, but especially on chart plotter navigation displays for sailboats. Yeah, it may be waterproof, but use that to navigate into a port in a blowing rain, with salt spray everywhere, freezing cold hands, low visibility. Nightmarish. Buttons, knobs, please. Economy airplane seats. I bet things would change if airline CEOs had to spend 100 hours sitting in the economy seats they approved. Paper straws. Those people who design food packaging that innocently says tear here or peel here, which of course never works, and you always have to resort to scissors or a knife to get into them. Service now. I swear, my kitchen was designed by a 6'3" man who has never spent an hour in a kitchen in his life. It's not functional. I can't reach anything. All of the cupboards are in each other's way, and when you unload the dishwasher you have to put everything on the counter and close the dishwasher so that you can then get to the cupboards to put the dishes away. The whole layout sucks, and someday I'm going to demolish it and put in a new kitchen. New apartments designed to sell rather than be lived in. Speculum. Kids' clothing especially for newborns. Kitchens and track housing. I'm convinced they've all been designed in AutoCAD with the mentality of getting as much square footage as possible, but the people designing them never say fit in them, much less live in them for any length of time. Bras. Microsoft Teams. SharePoint, why are you so slow at everything? Anything by the MLM, it works, it doesn't work, people. Those weird vertical blinds that snap off at the top so easily. Most equipment for disabled people are made by able-bodied people. Women's pads and pantoliners. The torture device known as the epilady. What woman-hating troll invented that rip em out by the roots hair removal weapon? HMOs. Voice-driven phone prompt systems. Plus-sized clothing. I don't understand how the boobage factor can be so small and the tent-like dress part be so tent-like. Or that plus-sized people don't get to have the same type of clothing pattern as a smaller piece of clothing. Bras with removable padding. I know exactly 0 people who enjoy having to fish those pads out of the washer and or dryer and try to put them back in place. And someone even made a tool to reinsert them? Just sew them in the first time, cowards. Social media developers, they scared of what they've created. Cars with touch screens in place of tactile controls. They're not just difficult to use, they actively put the driver in danger. Humidifiers. They are impossible to clean. No one would design anything like that after having cleaned one correctly. Most sports bras. They often don't support more than a bikini. My favorite kind are the ones with a zipper in the front which keeps opening itself as soon as you move. Majority of enterprise software has terrible usability. Think of all the really shitty HR, time tracking and expense apps you've had to use at your company. The guys who thought all of womankind needed and wanted flimsy pink plastic deli gloves to remove and discreetly dispose of their tampons. Most toasters sold in the UK are too small to fit the sliced bread sold in supermarkets. The belts that secure child seats to the car. Okay to tighten, impossible to loosen. People who design clothes for kids have never dressed a baby. Why is there a tiny button at the back or the neck that goes through a thin string? Why make skirts that are incompatible with car seats? Scented pads. Never put fragrances on your bits. Cars are designed by engineers that hate mechanics. The little plastic tab on the seal on bottles that rips off, leaving the seal intact. Slow cookers with short cords. Try that in an office kitchen. Whoever makes the individual pill packs for hospitals, especially gabapentin. Good grief, those are impossible to open, let alone split off from the 10-pack. I swear some of my most annoying moments as a nurse is opening all the individual pill packets. Gillette razors. Clearly, every single commercial, the paid actor is already clean-shaven. And it's all the way from 2-bladed razors all the way up to now with the 28-bladed razor. Closest shave ever. Prove it. Put a big or hairy ape on there, have him make one pass with the razor. Let's see just how much does that razor cut. How many passes is it going to take that ape? Mammogram machine. Whoever designs baby wipes. Oh, you want to pull out just one? I thought you wanted to pull out all of them in one massively long string like a magician's scarves. The resealable bags that frozen food rice now come in, worthless. I just cut the top corner off and use clips. Side-by-side refrigerators, the freezer in particular. How the fuck does anyone organize it with 4 fucking shelves? It's so dumb. Condiment packets. Tear along this line, the line is on the wrong spot, the plastic line is too stretchy and didn't even tear, the notch isn't even cut, my fingers are so greasy that I can't even grip it. The jerk face who designed blister pack packaging. Like, why are the scissors in a package that requires tin snips to open and once opened will cut me like a knife? Child-proof caps on arthritis medication. WTF. Women's pants. They never give us real pockets. They are either little tiny ones or fake ones. And do they not understand our hips and waist are not the same size? Third-party apps. The company suddenly wants to change to that involves material acquisition, invoices, travel bills, or anything that should help your day get more effective. It never does. Laws made by politicians. The year is 2023. Why is bacon still packaged this way? Stilettos. Disposable coffee cups with lids. We can put a man on the moon, but we can't make a coffee cup with a lid that doesn't leak. Depend. They leak constantly and are terrible overall. Dishwashers, particularly the bottom rack, will track designers. Mine is fine when empty, but as soon as there's anything in it, it careens off the track every time you slide it. All of those trendy new long stick vacuum cleaners with the motor at the top. Insert all women's products made by men lol. Pretty much every coffin and casket manufacturer